This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
So good evening. This is the City Council Ordinance Subcommittee meeting for January 23rd, 2025. Call this meeting to order. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, great. So the first thing on the agenda, want to approve the meeting minutes for December 19th, 2024. There is an amendment that needs to happen. There was just the last bit of the section D. We need to add the non-Western Mass individuals or non-residents living in Western Massachusetts, or the four counties of Western Massachusetts. So make a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, great. So that's taken care of. So can you amend that and send it to Barbara?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So the first thing on the agenda, I want to be respectful of your time, Allison, is, do you both know each other? Just so we know.
I've seen you, and I know you from another context, I think, right?
I had you as a professor.
Okay, yeah, I'm like,
Hey, that's funny.
I will bring that up again, like every time we meet. Oh, wait a minute.
Great. So what we wanted to talk about this evening was the shrubbery ordinance. And so just to kind of bring you up to speed, and I'll walk us through. It'd be helpful if Greg was here. But we took some photos of examples of situations at intersections where we felt like these might be in conflict with the shrubbery ordinance, and how we might navigate that or manage that, and certainly something for you to think about in your role kind of moving forward. But
Yeah, definitely.
so just want to so these are the photos that I took. I think here's a really clear example. It has to be 25 feet from the curb. This is not. It's really, really difficult to see around this. And this is at the corner of Bryan Avenue and Hisgin. And so going straight ahead is actually the school. So you can imagine traffic kind of right there at that intersection being very dangerous.
Yeah.
Here it is from the other side. So you really have to creep out there in order to be able to see around those trees. Here is an example that I took of this hedge right here. That's the sidewalk. Particularly in the summertime, it really extends over that sidewalk. And so for someone who had mobility needs and things like that, that would be really challenging. Sometimes in the summertime, I use my walking poles and I kind of hop out into the street because it'll grab the. This is the corner of Greenwood and Main Street. You can see this is a little bit easier to see, but in the summertime, it would be a real hindrance to be able to see around that.
I don't know if that was a good or a bad part of taking the pictures in the winter, but you could imagine what it would look like, but you can see through it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it's bad in the best case scenario, then it means it's
Right,
really
right.
bad in the worst case scenario.
Yeah. So see, these I think are from Councilor Derby. again, it's winter, you can see through this, but a clear example of this is within 25 feet of that, and that would be really difficult to see around when it's in bloom, right? So you're, again, having to creep out, or you're having to creep through the intersection, right? So I think these are some things we'll have to think about when we think about the shrubbery ordinance and how we grandfather these in.
Sure. Where was this corner?
I don't
Is
know
that,
where
it
this
looks
is
like coming
at.
out of Westview
Yeah.
on South Street.
Oh, yeah, I think it does say
Big
Westview.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We looked at a house on that street. So
Ah.
that just looks familiar.
Yeah.
I think we looked at that house in the picture too, actually.
And here's, I think the same view maybe, but again, that's not 25 feet from the, right? And so seeing around that might be a challenge, right? So, Tamara or Councilor Smith, I'm gonna.
No,
walk
and
us through this.
one of the things that I want to point out about precinct 5 is that we don't have sidewalks. And so it's harder to delineate where it's too far.
Mhm.
Now, this is the corner of Plain and Strong.
Mhm.
And so on this corner is a toddler playground.
Mhm.
And this is also where they do the winter wonderland. So they use the parking lot of the park during the winter for that.
And just for point of clarification, is this, would I see the park extended beyond these trees right here, or is it on another?
They're on the right-hand
Okay,
side.
great.
So this has a blinking stop sign at it. However, it really takes you to move a much further ahead to see whether or not there's someone coming from there. So this is the #1 intersection within precinct 5 that tends to really get the most, I don't know, comments about. And then because we have no sidewalks, we have no sidewalk that these fences are going up against. And so I wasn't quite sure how we wanted to deal with something like that, because there's several examples of this throughout the Plains neighborhood where someone just put a fence up and it extends pretty much to the end of their property. We also have a lot of people who do the shrubbery as a fence, like, you know, that really thick green. And so those things I wasn't sure, so I figured it's gonna include it just in case.
Yep.
And then, yeah, this is Wonderlic going on to Strong Street to take a right there. It's obviously gonna have a lot of overgrowth in the summertime.
And that's the park right there behind.
Nope, this is a different intersection.
Okay. Yep.
This is probably 3/4 of a mile down further on Strong Street. So if you were to take if you were on Strong Street and you took a left to go against where I'm going in this picture, it attaches to Hendrick Street, and that's the one that goes all the way along the edge of the Plains. And then there are a lot of very small home neighborhoods that are pretty tightly compacted within the middle of the Plains and within those neighborhoods. So this is an interesting example because from where I was at this point in the car, I was like, I'm not even sure if there's a road coming up there. Like, it's really, really blocked. But once I got past where that comes out there, it was a lot more trimmed down towards the corner. So for me, what I seem to get hung up on a lot in the Plains is that the ones that block the long range view, you can't quite see the layout of the land, or at least the streets.
And just to be clear, there is not a sidewalk right there.
Correct. But we don't have so in our neighborhood, you just gotta walk on the street.
Right. Yeah, I was just curious. It looks like someone cleared that snow out right there for some reason, so I wasn't sure if that was a. Okay. Yeah.
Looks like a plow just went straight across me. There's somebody's driveway.
Oh, yeah. Good point. And yeah, and I imagine in the summertime, this is a lot fuller.
Yeah, yeah, but I just really thought that was a bit of an anomaly because it's when you're going down the street, you can't see past it. Not, you just can't prepare that there's a turn coming up. But once you get past that, you'd have to brake really fast to take the right if you didn't know that was right there.
Okay, that makes sense. Any questions? Do you have questions, Allison?
No, just thoughts percolating, but
Okay.
I'll let you finish.
Yep, so that's the end. So those are all the photographs that the three of us came up with. So, just to kind of come here. So here's the back to the ordinance. And again, I think it's unfortunate that council.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.